Hey folks, welcome back to the Taylor Tax Show. I'm Terrence Taylor, and this is Big Al Donnell Jr. Big Al, say what's up?
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, and we are the co-founders of Taylor Tax. We put Taylor Tax together and this podcast series together to help highly paid, highly taxed, high-profile taxpayers save a bunch on your taxes and to level the playing field and democratize those highly sophisticated tax strategies that can help you to do that. And today we're going to be doing episode 8 of our podcast. And Big Al, what are we talking about today?
What's life insurance got to do with it? And it being taxes.
Mhm.
So, Terrence, what are the six main components of tax savings that we oftentimes go over?
Yeah, so when we meet with our clients and even as we think about this work of helping people to save a bunch on taxes, we know that there are six key areas that folks can access, leverage to save on taxes. So the first one is to start your own business. We did a podcast on it, right? Episode uh, 6, I believe. Yeah. And then second is to be a real estate investor. That was episode 7. Third, insurance, surprisingly. So this is episode 8. Fourth, strategic gift giving. Fifth, retirement planning. And then 6, we've added recently estate planning.
Exactly.
Big Al, back to you.
Yeah. So, and once again, what's life insurance got to do with it? What's life insurance got to do with taxes? It's got a lot to do with taxes. It should be a very pivotal component of your overall tax profile. And here's why. There's so many different types of life insurance, so I don't want anybody to get wrapped up in that. What I want you to get wrapped up in are the benefits that it provides you. I look at life insurance as kind of like the glue that or the connective tissue for those six components that Terrence just listed. Here's the reason being: if you start a business but you pass away, then guess what? That whole source of revenue could potentially also pass away unless you're at such a level that you already have somebody running the business for you. All right. Um, also, if you have a business partner and you're running a business and you pass away, they might not want your spouse to be a partner with you. Your spouse might not want to be a partner with your partner or want to run that business as well. But what does life insurance do? It helps hopefully buy out helps the other person buy out your partnership so that you and your lifestyle could continue going, or for not you and your lifestyle, but your family's lifestyle could keep going. From the real estate standpoint, if any of these loans are called in, then life insurance can also help cover that. When it comes to retirement, when it comes to estate planning and strategic gift giving, life insurance can help keep all of these things in motion, even when you pass away, so that the overall goal for the future happens. Now, once again, when it comes to life insurance, there's life insurances that have death benefits. All life insurance has a death benefit, all right? But there are also some that have a life benefit, which is a very beneficial thing. Life insurance, as I mentioned before, with the business standpoint, it's like the ultimate hedge in business, all right? Now, the part that I want to kind of focus on, and actually, my wife and I met up with Terrence about yesterday because Terrence also has an insurance business and an insurance license, and he's an extremely intelligent human being. All right. If you haven't already noticed from all these technical things that he does. But yeah, so we met with them because we already have an estate plan, and we're going to talk about that on a future episode. But we're trying to make sure that we safeguard everything that we have in our estate plan and prepare for our future. A lot of people talk about generational wealth, but a lot of times generational wealth is built through life insurance. All right. Even if you don't have a house or multiple houses to pass down or huge amounts of stock certificates for your kids to inherit, what they can inherit is a pretty sizable life insurance policy that can help store things up for them in their life. So one of the things that we talked about that my wife was super interested in, well, we don't have to go over the specific the specific thing, but what it provided was an opportunity for us to front load the insurance policy in such a way that after 5 years, we now have access to borrow from this insurance policy. Even if we don't pay it back, it's still not taxable. It's still considered a loan and it'll only reduce our death benefit. But what we love so much about it is that after front loading this thing just for 5 years, being able to access it again to do more real estate investments, to do more stock investments, or to help handle any other type of emergency that comes up in our life. Now we have, rainy day funds and savings and so on and so forth. So we're definitely not going to access it to fix a vehicle or even to do renovations on a home. We've got all that stuff planned out. But I'm talking about if a family member passes, or if there's a situation or even an opportunity to invest in a large piece of commercial property, or for the entire family to take a 2-week trip to Africa or Europe or Asia. So it's a really great opportunity to kind of safeguard everything that you have going on in life. Because as you see, when it comes to taxes, the game is a dynamic game. It's not a static game. You don't set something up and forget about it. Everything has to be active. I know it's somewhat of a misnomer, the idea of passive income, but and the reason I say it's somewhat of a misnomer, because dividends, you don't really have to think about it. But when it's rental real estate, you still have to check up on it, even if you have a property manager and so many other things. But these components that you set up in order to build up your tax situation, your tax household, if any one component falls apart, the biggest one being your life, then everything could potentially collapse or has the potential to collapse. However, with life insurance, it can keep everything stable until your life's, the remaining family's lives get to a place to kickstart things back up again. So yeah, I'm gonna bring it back to Terrence to see if you can provide us with a couple more examples.
Big Al, thank you. And first of all, I love the examples you gave. It shows folks that even as we get into this tax space and we're trying to help other people to save on their taxes, we're practicing what we preach. We're looking at how we use products like life insurance to also help us and our families and to save a bunch on taxes. So let me give some other examples just to drive home the point about why life insurance is the glue and why it can be such an important tool when it comes to your tax affairs. So when it comes to retirement savings, I have a cousin who is in the insurance business, and she discovered to her horror that her 401k had been losing value. And the percentage escapes me, so don't quote me on this percentage, but I think she experienced a loss of like 15% of of the value in her 401k. And she had just gotten introduced to life insurance, specifically annuities and index universal life policies, or IULs. And she decided to get an IUL, and she discovered very quickly that the IUL was outperforming her 401k. And the beautiful thing about this is then she decided to put more of her retirement savings into index universal life policies and annuities. And she has a strategy that she uses where she'll put money in an annuity and use the dividends that she gets from the annuity to pay for the index universal life policies. So for those who are interested, we can give you more details about both these products. Reach out to us at Terrence at taylortax.ai or Big Al at taylortax.ai, and we're more than happy to give you more information. So that's one example, is where retirement savings can be enhanced and can be helped with life insurance. And the beautiful thing about retirement savings through life insurance is that it then puts a bunch of your retirement money in a bucket that when you access it, there are ways to access it tax-free. And this is really helpful when you get to retirement, because the traditional retirement the traditional retirement savings vehicles like the 401k, even the Roth IRA does have some restrictions in terms of when you can access the money and as well as the type of taxes you pay, especially if it's a 401k on your retirement savings. So that's one, Big Al, is retirement. The second example is what you were talking about. We look at helping families to use life insurance to achieve their financial goals. And there are two ways that life insurance can really help to do this. So the first one is if you have children, you can take out what's known as colloquially as $1 million baby policy. So you take out a policy depending on the age of your child. You pay for 5 to 7 years into the life insurance policy, and then the life insurance policy grows over time in terms of something known as a cash value as well as the death value. And over time, you're in a position where your child will become a millionaire, right? So that's one. The second way Big Al and I were discussing yesterday is, well, how do you also, as adults, use life insurance to set yourself and your family up in ways that can be helpful for life events that you might want to have access to money. And he's already talked about those. So whether that's investing in real estate, a family emergency comes up, you want to take a vacation. Once the money is in the policy and the policy is been classified as a life insurance policy by the IRS, then you're able to take a policy loan of up to 90% on the policy to do whatever you need to do, and you can choose whether you pay it back or not. So that's the second example, Big Al. Third example is wealth preservation. And here we have the Rockefellers to thank for a fantastic strategy and approach. It's called the Rockefeller waterfall method. So what they're known to do is that as a new member of the family is born, they take out a life policy on this new member. And they've set up a family trust. So as and when family members pass away, this is a reality, we all pass away eventually, the proceeds of the insurance policies paid into the family trust. The family trust is then in a position to take out policy loans to fund things on behalf of the family. And these are investments that they would make either in businesses or in existing businesses. As people need to take out money to buy a new home, the family trust is there to provide this money. And some of you may have heard this a term called infinite banking used for this, right? So that's another way that life insurance can be super helpful when it comes to achieving your financial goals. And all of this is done in the most tax advantage way, because any money you pull out from your life insurance policy, especially when you do it as a policy loan, would be tax free. So Big Al, that's what we wanted to share in terms of life insurance and why it's such an important topic. To close the show, let's just remind folks that at the end of the day, your tax affairs are your responsibility. And we as Tailored Tax are determined to help you get the insights and the knowledge you need to be able to manage your tax affairs so you save a bunch on your taxes. So folks, that's our show for today. Big Al, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I got a closing thought. Have y'all tried Tax Strategies GPT just yet? If not, check out, go to OpenAI, ChatGPT. They just released ChatGPT 4.0, I believe.
Yeah, 4.0, yeah.
4.0. And look up Tax Strategies GPT, type in your tax questions. And then of course, if you want more of a customized answer or how to implement it, please give one of us a call or email one of us at Big Al at tailoredtax.ai or Terrence at tailoredtax.ai.
All right, folks. Thank you. See you soon.
Cheers.